Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm jumping on the bandwagon and I'm going to be reviewing for you guys the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'R Instant Retouch Concealer by Fenty. So this is what the unicarton looks like just here. Now I picked this one up in the shade 120. Before we get into the review, I just want to read a little of the claims about this concealer. So I'm just going to go ahead to the Sephora app. So I paid 38 Australian dollars for this concealer and I have it in the shade 120. Now this is what the packaging looks like, and I haven't even checked out the wand yet. It is just a nice doe foot applicator. The shade looks a little light, so I'm hoping that this is going to be okay. If not, that's fine. Sometimes I like a highlighted under eye, so I can just, if it's too light, use it for when I want those types of looks. So what it says is a creamy, long wear, crease-proof liquid concealer that delivers light as air, medium to full coverage. And it comes in, how many shades? 50 shades. So that is pretty unreal. So definitely a round of applause to Fenty. 50 shades, that's amazing. So I think it's only fair that when you're reviewing a product that you use things that you know that work, so that you can give an honest and fair review of the product. So today I'm going to go in with the Laneige. This is the BB Cushion Hydra Radiance Cushion Foundation, which looks just like this. So I'm just going to quickly whack this one on, and then we'll come back and we'll get to applying the concealer. Okay guys, so I've just gone in with a nice light layer. This is in the shade number 23 Sand, just in case you guys are curious. So I've just gone in with a nice layer of that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in a little bit so that you guys can get a nice close look of the product. And yeah, let's see what this Fenty concealer is all about. Okay, that's better. In just a little closer for you guys. So like I said, you've just got a nice doe foot applicator wand. I've got a mirror right here in front of me, and I'm going to apply this with a sponge. That's how I usually like to apply all of my concealers, so I only think it would be fair to apply with the sponge, as that's my normal way I like to apply. So I'm just going to do one side first. So it's thick, but not too thick. I'm just going to go in with a little bit and we'll see if we need to add more, because for all I know, this could be uber full coverage. So it seems to be blending out quite nicely. It's not too thick, definitely not as thick as something like the tart shape tape. So that's one layer. Now usually I generally only need to go in with one layer of concealer. So this is the difference, obviously concealer on this side, no concealer on this side. I'm kind of feeling like I can still see a little bit of my dark circles. I did say medium to full coverage, so what I might do is go in with just one more layer and I'll see how that looks, see if I can build it up. I have to admit, I am impressed because I thought that this was going to be way lighter than it appears. So maybe it's just slightly oxidized, which I'm actually not unhappy about, only because I was afraid I picked way too light of a shade, and with it being summer here in Australia, I'm super tanned. So yeah, so far, I mean, it's not super full coverage, but let's see if we can build it up. So I might just go in with a similar amount that I did last time. So something like that again. And I'm just going to pat that out again with the sponge. Really hit that inner corner there, where I get nice and dark. Okay, so it's definitely given me more coverage with that second layer, but I definitely don't feel like this is the most full coverage foundation I've ever used. The most full coverage concealer I've ever used, especially in comparison to the Tarte Shape Tape or the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place All Day Concealer, which is one of my faves. The coverage is nice, but it's definitely not full coverage. But I think it's great to actually have a mix, because not all the time, especially like today where I've just got like a lightweight foundation on, sometimes we don't always want a super heavy concealer underneath the eye. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in now with the other side. I'll do one layer and do a second layer so everything's looking nice and even. The real test is going to be though the longevity, and so far there's no creasing. It hasn't settled into any of those lines, fine lines underneath my eyes, so far so good with that. But usually I find with a concealer, any that I've reviewed in the past, I tend to know whether or not I like it or not within the first couple of hours, because if I start to get really crepey under the eyes quickly, then for me it's just an instant no-go with a concealer. I want a concealer that is going to stay bright and stay creaseless for as long as possible. If you get to about 8 hours and the concealer starts to wear down, I think that's pretty good, because 8 hours is the standard amount of time. I've definitely worn concealer for way longer than that, but at least a solid 8 has to at least last for me. That's how I kind of judge my concealers. I do like that it's super lightweight under the eye. It doesn't feel heavy at all, which is nice, because the skin underneath the eye is such a sensitive and delicate area. I don't know about you guys, but I don't like having products feel super heavy. Well, I mean anywhere on my face, but especially underneath the eye. So that is now gone in with the second layer, and it's holding pretty well. Like I said before, there's still no creasing. It hasn't settled into my under eye area. Just showing you guys nice and close up how that's looking, and it's given a slightly brightened look to underneath the eye, which is nice. I'm so tanned right now. I'm loving it. This is all natural. Okay, so far I'm definitely not unimpressed. Not the most full coverage concealer that I've ever used, but like I said before, it is nice to have something that's not as full coverage for those days where you don't want such a full glam look. Definitely hasn't settled at all underneath my eyes, which is great. Usually if something's going to crease, it'll do it within the first couple of minutes of an application before you set. So I think now the only thing left to do is to set the under eye area. I'm going to go in with my usual, which is the Mercier. This is the Secret Brightening Powder. So I'm going to set my under eye with that, and let's see how it's looking afterwards. So I'm just going to go in with, this is a Morphe brush. It's a part of the Rose Gold collection. The number has worn off, so I'm sorry about that. So I'm just going to, I've got heaps of product here. I'm just going to once more tap out, because this is what I always do, just tap, 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 tap. And then I'm going to get some of that product onto my brush and set underneath that area. It's actually looking really, really nice in that area. It's looking super fresh, not heavy, not cakey. It looks super, just, I don't know, like just fresh and awakening. And now that I've set it, like I don't really feel like there's too much darkness or any of my under eye circles or just any of that kind of discoloration, purple bluiness kind of peeking through. It's just nice. It looks very skin-like, but I mean, obviously I'm wearing makeup, but it does look still quite skin-like. So yeah, so far I'm liking. Now let's set the other side. Okay, this is how we're looking so far. Let me zoom right in underneath the eye so you can see exactly how it's looking. Okay guys, this is never nice for anyone being this close to a camera, but you can see underneath the eye area there, like I said before, it has not settled into any of those fine lines underneath my eyes. Everything's looking fresh. I'm impressed. I'm happy with that. I don't know, what do you guys think? Let me know down below. Okay guys, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna jump off camera. I'm gonna finish off the rest of my makeup. I'm gonna do a complete all day wear test for you guys. I'm gonna do some check-ins throughout the day, let you know how everything's looking. So yeah, I'm gonna go finish off the rest of my makeup and I'll be back. Hey guys, so I'm back again. It's probably been about 30 minutes since I applied the concealer. I have just finished off the rest of my makeup, and yeah, so first up, so it's pretty much still looking the same, which is great because because usually I find with concealers you'll see the most changes within the first like hour or so. Everything's still looking pretty good. Yeah, I'm happy with the coverage of the concealer because of the look that I've gone for today. It's public holiday here in Australia and I'm just chilling at home. I'm just gonna do some editing, watch some Netflix. I'm about to cook some lunch. So I feel like for this type of look, like this is the type of concealer that I like because the foundation is fairly natural, and the concealer kind of goes well with that. So straight off the bat, I think that if you're a type of girl who loves a full coverage type of concealer, I don't think this will be for you. I love it, but like, yeah, I just think that if you like a super full coverage concealer, you're just not gonna like this. It definitely builds up, but there still is a little bit of discoloration, especially like right in the inner corners of my eyes where most people get the darkest. I can still kind of see a little bit of that peering through. I don't mind because like I said, I've gone for a more natural look today, but if that's not your thing, then I really don't think that you'd probably like this concealer. I don't think it'd be very good for spot concealing either. I think it's, yeah, definitely just great for the under eye area. It doesn't really have enough coverage for spot concealing, but underneath the eye looks, yeah, I'm happy with the way it looks. It's nice and natural, and yeah, it hasn't creased or settled into any of those fine lines, which that's what we all really kind of want the most out of our concealer. So let's see, where is my phone on this desk? It is, so it's 12:30 now. So I'm gonna wear this for as long as possible, and then I'm going to come back later in the day and I'm going to give you guys a final check-in. If anything too crazy happens in between, now and the end of the day, I'll definitely jump back on. But I feel like unless I have something to say, then there's no point jumping on saying, hey, it's still the same. So this is where we're at. I am happy with the coverage. I'm happy with the way it's sitting. And yeah, so I'm going to come back later on in the day. I'll let you guys know how the concealer wore and my final thoughts. So I'll see you guys in a few hours. Hey guys, so I'm back. So it is currently 6:30. So the concealer has been on now for around, what's that? I think I was like 11:30, 12-ish when I started. So a solid 6 hours. So not quite the 8, but I'm calling it. I'm so ready to take my makeup off and just get in some pajamas and just chill for the rest of the day. I'm gonna zoom you guys in and show you up close, even though I'm nervous to do that because it is like 40 degrees and I'm sweating like you wouldn't believe, but I want to show you how the concealer's been holding up for the hours that it's been on. So let's get a closer look. Okay guys, so we're much closer now. So I've got my mirror right here in front of me. So I'm actually pretty impressed. I feel like it's holding up pretty well. My foundation is starting to sweat off, especially around my chin area. That's probably though a combination from eating a hamburger for lunch and just the sweat, and I've kind of just been drinking and wiping that area, but everything else seems to be holding up pretty well. The concealer definitely hasn't creased any further. It definitely has slightly deteriorated and probably have lost a little coverage in that time, but for the amount of hours that it's been on and with how hot today has been, I think that is reasonably fair. Some things that I've definitely loved about this concealer is it doesn't feel heavy, it doesn't feel cakey under the eyes, which is a big bonus point for me. As I'm getting older, I'm really particular about the products that I like to have underneath my eyes and the way that they feel. So I'm really happy with how lightweight this is. And yeah, I don't know, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm definitely going to continue using it. I'm going to try it again tomorrow. Like I said, it's a public holiday here in Australia, so I'm back to work again tomorrow. So I'm going to wear it again tomorrow, and I'll be wearing it for at least 8-9 hours tomorrow so I can see how it holds up for those extra couple of hours in the day. But so far I'm really impressed. Like, I don't see any massive changes from when I first applied to now. Like I said, it has faded a little bit, but nothing too drastic. It hasn't lifted or done anything too crazy. It definitely hasn't creased any further, which I'm so happy with. I was actually afraid that after time went on that this was going to crease, and it hasn't, so I'm super happy with that. And yeah, I don't know, I think it's looking still pretty fresh underneath the eyes for the amount of time that it has been on. So that's how it's looking up nice in close there for you guys. You can see my sweaty face up close. So final thoughts, I'm definitely happy. Like I said earlier in the video, if you're a full coverage queen, this probably isn't going to be for you. You definitely can't spot conceal with it, and it's definitely not a full coverage. It's more of a light to medium, I'd say, rather than medium to full. It's definitely lightweight and definitely is creaseless, but yeah, doesn't have that full coverage like you get from products like the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, but it's definitely a lot more hydrating and a lot more lightweight than that type of concealer. So for me, it's a big tick. I'm definitely having more days recently where I like to be a lot more natural, if you will, with my makeup. This probably isn't natural to a lot of people, but yeah, I like just the lightness of it. I think it goes with the types of looks and I think it goes really well with the type of makeup looks that I've been enjoying recently. And now that my skin has completely cleared up, I've been really into more lightweight foundation and more of a lightweight concealer and allowing your skin to breathe through. Yeah, if you like more of a light to medium kind of coverage, then I think you'd really enjoy this concealer. There's over 50 shades, which is so amazing. So once again, like, round of applause to Fenty, because that is unreal. Brands need to watch and learn. If you're gonna bring out a concealer or any type of face product, whether it's foundation, concealer, powders, you know, you need to have a solid shade range, and Fenty does. So for me, it's a big tick. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit that little notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload. And of course, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. It means so much to me. And if you're still watching at this point, thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it, and I'm gonna see you guys in my next video. Bye.